Kenya has signed what propagandists call a historic 5-year health agreement with the US, the first such pact since Donald Trump's administration overhauled its foreign aid program. The $2.5 billion deal is aimed at combating infectious diseases in Kenya, with similar agreements expected to be rolled out in other African countries aligned with Trump's broader foreign policy goals. In September, the Trump administration introduced an America First global healthcare strategy, making aid dependent on negotiations that officials said would cut out waste and advance U.S. priorities. Under the deal with Kenya, the U.S. will contribute $1.7 billion, with the Kenyan government covering $850 million and gradually taking on more responsibility. The deal targets the prevention and treatment of HIV and AIDS, malaria and tuberculosis, maternal care, polio eradication, and infectious disease outbreak response and preparedness. Signing the agreement with Kenya's president, the demonic, power-hungry William Ruto, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio described it as a landmark agreement and referred to Kenya as a long-standing American ally. The Secretary of State explained that the U.S. wanted its foreign aid to go directly to governments rather than through aid agencies and charities. Check out this clip and let us come back and discuss.
We hope to sign many of these in the days to come. But the first one we're going to sign is with Kenya. And the reason why is twofold. Number one, because of our close partnership. Number two, because they are they have stable and strong institutions, both in government and in the healthcare sector. And over the next few years, we're going to be investing $1.6 billion in health assistance over the next 5 years.
On behalf of the government and people of Kenya, I express profound gratitude to the United States, to President Donald Trump, and to you, Marco, for the commitment of US dollars 1.6 billion to Kenya over the next 5 years. This gesture of goodwill by President Trump on behalf of the American taxpayers reinforce our ongoing mobilization of domestic resources by Kenyans and actors and stakeholders in Kenya to the health sector. And I assure you that every shilling and every dollar will be spent efficiently, effectively, and accountably.
Okay, guys, let's get the theatrics out of the way. This US-Kenya deal represents a major increase in US mass surveillance capabilities. It will allow the US to see the name and location of everyone who uses a Kenyan healthcare facility in real time and get a copy of the biometrics. Granting foreign governments real-time access to the country's health information systems significantly heightens national cybersecurity vulnerabilities, exposes strategic population-level data, and creates a risk of data manipulation, extraction, or misuse. Guys, we are not stupid. Let's read between the lines. Along with this deal, something else expands: America's access, America's influence, and America's visibility inside African health system. Under US global health law funding agreements, it's crazy. It is crazy. Under this US global health law or funding agreements, they often require reporting of patient data. Do you know how dangerous that is? Disease surveillance access and integration with foreign health monitoring systems. So the fear is simple, guys. Does this open the door for deeper US surveillance on African populations? Not just disease, guys, but data analysts. We live in an era where data is power, and medical data, that's the highest form of power a foreign country can have over you, and that's a fact. Now, we are asking, as the critics, we are asking as journalists on the African Diaspora News channel, we are asking as the people of Africa, will this give foreign agencies insight into African genetic patterns? Will pharmaceutical companies gain unprecedented access for trials, research, and experimentation? Will the African body become the world's favorite testing ground again? These are not conspiracy theories. These are historical patterns that we should learn from. Oh my God, guys, They are going to literally create diseases, give it to the African people, see how we respond to this, see how our DNA, our immune system responds to this. They are going to create vaccines that will weaken our immune system. They will study us, and in terms of becoming a lab rat, or the side effects of becoming the American lab rat, it means more bodies will drop. We will be plagued with infectious diseases on this continent. We will be wiped out. They are looking to decrease the population of Africa, seeing that European population is decreasing significantly. We are going to be lab rats. We are going to die. Africa has a long, painful record of being used for clinical trials, vaccine testing, population control experiments, and unethical medical research. So when Kenya signs a multi-billion-dollar healthcare deal with a global superpower, people have every right to question this move. We have every right to question the motive behind this multi-billion-dollar health deal. We have every right to question this motive as African people. We cannot forget that just recently, the Gates Foundation and the United States-backed partners proposed long-acting contraception programs for African countries, including contraceptive pills that last up to 8 years. Just yesterday, the Bill Gates Foundation and the US-backed partners proposed long-acting contraception programs for African countries, including contraceptive pills that last up to 8 years. Not long ago, they wanted to curb our pregnancies. They wanted to curb our population. So now they are seeing that other African countries were suspicious of that proposal. So what do? They come back and say this is a healthcare aid funding program that America is doing directly with the governments. They are cutting out the middlemen, the healthcare agencies, the NGOs. They are cutting those middlemen and they're going directly to the government because they know that the government of Africa, the ruling system or the justice system or the government system of Africa is a money, power, hungry, grabbing monopoly. They know that the African leaders are power hungry. They are evil. They are willing to sell out their people for money, for extra change in their pockets. So cut out the middleman that actually cares about people and go directly to the power hungry, evil William Ruto and the rest of the African leaders. Yeah. Honestly, I say, why is population control always targeted at Africa? This is me and other journalists and other critics. We are questioning, why is population control always targeted at Africa? Why do African women always become the testing ground? Now, combine that with access to medical records and it raises a red flag. Not because the deal states that it doesn't, but I am so crazy right now. My mind is blown. My mind is blown. Because we've seen how global healthcare power has historically been abused in Africa. How they did unethical medical testings and research on the African continent while we were held in captivity, while we were colonized. So what makes you think this time around is going to be different? What? Because they stopped beating your asses, because they stopped forcing you guys to dig for minerals. They stopped abusing your children and working them to the bones and cutting off their arms when they don't meet the quota. Huh? So you think things are going to be different because what? You have black leaders in government. You think you're in charge. You're not in charge. Just putting it out there. I just want African people to understand that they are not in charge of Africa. You are, just like your leaders, you are puppets of Africa. You are here to work the grounds of Africa so that it can benefit the global north. Just in case you think you're in charge. Just in case you think that you have bones to your meat or meat to your bones or whatever. I said what I said. Pharmaceutical companies love weak regulatory systems. They love desperate health systems. They love nations that don't have the money to say no. And when $1.7 billion is on the table, the fear is that Africa becomes the lab rat. Africa becomes the samples, and our DNA becomes the data set. We have seen it before. We cannot pretend it will not happen again, guys. We have seen this before. While you were still in captivity, they took it forcefully. Now, they're taking it as a guise of aid. As a guise of aid, them under the mask and the pretense of healthcare aid. They don't care about people that think that the global north cares about them are as stupid as their faces. The United States keeps talking about what Kenya stands to benefit from this healthcare deal. On paper, the deal focuses on strengthening primary healthcare, improving epidemic control, upgrading hospitals, expanding Kenya's medical workforce, and supporting Kenya's universal health coverage plan. Hear this? Supporting Kenya's universal health coverage plan. Okay. The United States has no universal health coverage. In fact, the US has the most exploitative health system in the world. Why would they want to give another country that which they don't have? The United States has no universal healthcare coverage plan. The US health system is very exploitive to its citizens. So why would they want to give another country that which they don't have? Why? Okay. What are they benefiting, guys? What is the United States benefiting in all of this? As you know what? Actually, every time the global north comes to Africa under the guise of financial support, foreign aid plan, aiding the African people, helping the African people, peace treaties, acting as peace custodians to war-ridden countries in Africa, the very same wars they endorse anyway, but it's fine. They always talk about what those countries will benefit. Oh, when we help Kenya, Kenya will have an extensive healthcare coverage plan. When we'll help Kenya, the epidemic control will be controlled. When we help Kenya, the healthcare system will open up and more jobs will be created and facilities will improve. Resources in hospitals will improve. Every single time the global north tries to help us, they make it seem like we are the ones benefiting. But what are they getting? What are they benefiting? I wonder. Geez. Because as far as I'm concerned, Kenya is the access to the eastern part of Africa. Could that be it, America? Could that be it? Are you using Kenya as a portal to infiltrate the east of Africa? To capture the east of Africa? To beat China and Russia to the game? Are you using Kenya for that? Because you certainly don't give a damn about Kenyans. You certainly don't give a damn about black people. I mean, we can see how you're treating your black people. The very same black people that built America, we see how you treat them. There are no healthcare coverage planning for black people. Food stamps are being cancelled. Education budgets are being cut for predominantly black universities, by the way, in America, in the black American systems. So it can't be that Trump wants to help a bunch of black people. No. There's more to it that meets the eye, and I want people to open up. I want people to start removing hungry, power-hungry, greedy, evil, war-mongering, demonic people like William Ruto. I need to see more people on the streets removing it. Oh my God, I am pissed. I am pissed to say the least, but what do you think about this segment? I know I'm pissed. Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora News channel.